All right, Sweden. Let's find out what's so bad about living there. These videos are usually like somewhat hyperbolic. Like they're not necessarily... You got to come up with something, right? If you're making a video about 10 things I hate about living in Sweden, you have to come up with something, right? You need 10 things to hate. But do you really hate them though? Are they really things that you hate? Hate is a strong word. Hate leads to fear. Fear leads to whatever the next line is. And that leads to suffering. And the dark side. All right, 10 things I hate about living in Sweden. Let's go.
Made a simply incredible video about 10 reasons why I like living here in Sweden. But then I thought, fuck it. I mean, the internet is filled with way too many positive things as it is. So I thought I'd make another video explaining.
Yeah, I like his sense of humor. It's
10
funny.
reasons I really hate living in this fucking country. So for instance, between about October and March, most of Sweden for most of the time is covered in complete soul-crushing.
October to March, eh? October, November, December, January, February, March. So 5 months. Okay, that's fair. Here in where I live in Canada, British Columbia, Western British Columbia, Vancouver Island, it's just rainy. It's not necessarily dark. It is darker. Like we don't get as much sun. A lot of people say you should take some vitamin D tablets. Take some vitamin D, supplements because you're not getting enough sun. Vitamin D, take it. But yeah, here it's basically just raining. Yeah, a lot of rain. Rain. I'm singing in the rain.
Darkness. The sun just don't show up during
Clockwork
6
Orange,
months
anyone?
of the year, you know. Swedish summers are fine, and Stockholm is lovely when the sun is out, you know. But this doesn't make up for the months of depressing shit that's being pushed down your throat during the winter months here, in my opinion. There's a reason Swedish people are known to just stand in the sun for a while during the spring. You know, every Swedish person is essentially a fucking Dark Souls character. Now, number 2 might have something to do with this darkness. Because
the darkness.
It's mirrored in the people as well. It's a very known cultural thing here in Sweden that Swedish people have this sort of ice-cold barrier around themselves, you know, that is very difficult to crack socially. This does not apply for Swedes living abroad, interacting with other Swedes, or Swedes in Sweden interacting with foreigners. So unless you're also a Swedish person watching this is like impossible for me to prove. And if you are Swedish, then but yeah, there's something going on between Swedes, or rather there's nothing going on between Swedes. It's good in the sense that Swedish people have very high respect for people's, you know, personal space and stuff. But, you know, random interactions with strangers is a big fucking no. Most Swedish people would rather run a cheese grater along their gooch than have...
What did no? Okay, I mean I feel like that's pretty normal for society, especially nowadays. Like people are so self-interested anyways, and so kind of in their own, well, they're in their own little world, right? Especially with technology. So, hey, it is what it is.
Eye contact with a stranger on the tube, you know. Next one, Sweden is
just treat everybody good. Don't judge a book by its color, and we're good.
Fucking tiny, and there's gonna be like lots of unfair stuff in this video. But
Sweden is very small.
It can't help it, but you know, size matters to me. It's obviously all relative. I mean, my penis is way bigger than a thimble. If you come from a town with a population smaller than the sub count for this channel, Skövde, maybe, I don't know, then Stockholm might seem like a big city to you. Having lived in London and Tokyo, though, I don't think it is. I feel that big cities are the most open-minded areas. You're surrounded by so many fucking people that it's impossible to feel alienated or out of place, because there's always going to be someone who's even weirder than you are, you know. So for instance, if I wanted to roll down a high street in London on, you know, roller skates, dressed as a banana with a jukebox playing the Swedish national anthem, shouting about how much I love my toast just right, then people wouldn't look at me twice. They've most likely seen something even weirder just like the same morning. If I did the same thing on Drottninggatan, however, I would be on the local news for the next month. The number 4 on this list is connected to this. There are pretty much no 24/7 corner shops here in Stockholm. This sucks the anus. One of the things I miss the most from living in both London.
No 24/7 shops in Stockholm? No.
London and Tokyo is that you could just pop down the corner at any...
Even like my little town has 7-Elevens that are open all night.
Any time during the day. And then
sometimes you need some emergency eggs, right? You want to make an egg, you want to make a fried egg sandwich at 3:30 in the morning, you got to go to 7-Eleven, get eggs.
And buy whatever you need. This probably has to do with the sort of excellent worker rights.
Or you're really, really drunk and you need to go, get a ride to 7-Eleven to I'm just kidding. That would never happen.
And conditions here in Sweden. We don't want to force
Awesome.
people to work awkward hours too much. But still, I do miss being pissed drunk and being able to buy some Reese's from the poor, underpaid guy on the corner, Or go there to top up on some beer and wine for the party in the fucking park. Which brings me to the next point. Jesus. Fucking Systembolaget, number 5. Is this number 5? Yes. Now, the idea behind Systembolaget is a good one, I suppose. But fuck me, it sucks. For those of you who don't know, it is not possible in Sweden to buy alcohol from regular shops like you can in pretty much every other country around the world. You can
Not here. It's controlled by their stupid government, and they do a horrible, I don't know. There's private liquor stores. I guess, yeah. Okay, so in Ontario, it's like this. You can only get it from the Ontario Liquor Commission, whatever the hell it's called. Here in BC, there's the BC Liquor Stores brand, so the BCLC. And then there's also private liquor stores. Private liquor stores are sometimes cheaper, sometimes more expensive. BC liquor stores are pretty reasonable. I actually don't have many complaints about it. I just feel like it could be cheaper because when you go to Alberta, it's probably because of the tax. They don't have sales tax for their liquor, and it's so cheap and it's so awesome.
You can only buy alcohol stronger than 3.5% at a licensed pub or restaurant or at Systembolaget, which is the state-owned company with a complete monopoly on this shit. This is as close as we are to the socialist nightmare here, So let's say, for instance, that me and my partner are in bed after some steaming hot sex, and we both crave a post-anal White Russian, Then my brother can't simply pop down to the corner shop and buy...
This guy... His sense of humor is funny. I like it.
We have to wait to the next day when Systembolaget opens, Unless it's a Sunday, because it's fucking closed on Sundays. This sucks. Now, I might have lost some of you in number 5 there with, the reference to me and my brother having some sexy time. But let me bring you back to the moist side by bringing up the Swedish housing market. This shit is frustrating to the tits.
Housing market is a gong show everywhere.
I slipped into this rental flat in central Stockholm on the biggest fucking räkmacka you can imagine, Most people my age either live outside the city or have incredibly rich fucking parents who have bought an apartment for them, And if you want a bigger apartment than this one in this part of town, you will literally have to wait about 50 plus years to get one. I went on a walk with my dad through one of these areas a while back, and we talked about how literally the only people who were allowed to live there were people who signed up for the queue system SKB back in the fucking 1960s. Compare that to me getting a place to live in London after looking for about a week.
There's a queue system to
like
get
a month
housing?
Tops in Tokyo, Now, I mean, sure, the London one might be shared with, 5 other people, one of whom is a mold monster that was born in the bathroom, and the Tokyo one might be, 2.5 square meters big, but still... They were easy to find, at least. Now, number 7, Felix Herngren can go fuck himself. Number 8. This next reason is completely uncalled for. But I kind of don't like Swedish. I don't know.
The language?
Rather, I don't really like myself speaking Swedish, I think. I feel very sluggish and boring. I feel that in Swedish I'm not able to, live out the suave, witty, ball-crushingly charming man that I know that I really am. Probably because I grew up adoring British English. I'm just frustrated that nothing in Swedish can ever come remotely close to sounding as charming as, Hugh Grant in Notting Hill. Number 9, everything in Sweden is a bit too much by the books. Now, what the fuck do I mean by this?
Yeah, there's an interesting thing about, I was watching a video about how British people can do American accents really well, and how they've tricked, the video title was kind of another hyperbolic bait title, because it was saying how these Brits tricked people, right? But they didn't really trick anybody, it's just, they were acting. It's called acting, all right? Anyways, North American media and British media, Hollywood, these movies are oversaturated, and a lot of countries around the world watch a lot of these movies, TV shows, content, and they're absorbing these little cues, the linguistics and the accents, and the language. They're absorbing it constantly, where here in North America we don't necessarily have that same thing. You can seek out, I like watching foreign films. I haven't watched a lot of Swedish films, I don't think. Like I've watched a lot of Korean films. I really like Korean movies, like the gangster movies, and they're really damn good. They make really good movies. I'm talking about South Korea. North Korean films, I haven't seen many. Have you? But a lot of countries make real good movies. But you need to seek those out, and it's only like in the streaming era where we're starting to see more foreign content, foreign films, I feel. So I think there's a reason that it's easier to kind of adapt to English.
Now this is obviously
at least
wonderful
accents
when we're
wise,
talking about,
not learn English.
Fucking law and order and people behaving in the tvättstuga, but sometimes it can go a bit out of hand. Like, for instance, it is completely unheard of to imagine like a Swedish official, going, it's fine, we can sort of bend the rules a little bit here to just make this situation, this car rental, for instance, or whatever, just a bit more smooth for everyone. It's easier that way. That would almost never happen in Sweden. No, but this is like the rule, liksom. This is the way to do things, It's a Swedish law, liksom. Nej. Oh. For example, it's common in London to see big apartment buildings with different colored front doors. There's clearly no set idea or rule for what it should look like.
Good.
This is impossible in Sweden. In like an apartment building, no one would consider, painting their front door a different color than their neighbors. If you did, you could end up in trouble for breaking the local trivselregler or some shit. Okay, now fine. I mean, getting woken up by your flatmate in London who's had nothing to eat for the last week, apart from injecting anthrax into his eyeballs. That level of fucking nuts is not ideal, perhaps. But I still think that Sweden could learn from that guy. Just a little bit, Let people paint their fucking doors, for instance. It won't hurt anyone. Or rather, the people it will hurt need to get over themselves real quick, And number 10, jantelagen.
That's a great point. Like, if a painted colored door is giving people issue, I don't know, man.
Snopparnas pittpojk, fan alltså, jävla piss. Or the law of jante, or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Du ska fan inte tro att du är något. Nej. Essentially, you're not supposed to think you are anyone special. Fun, isn't it? Jantelagen is a thing that many people in not just Sweden but like Scandinavia have adopted, and it's very much, it's sort of seeped into the culture. It's everywhere. Okay, fine, parts of it is great, like you're not supposed to brag. No one likes a fucking show off. It's the polar opposite of American
brag and boast,
everyone's a winner kind of mentality. No, everyone is a loser, and anyone who thinks otherwise is an obnoxious fuckface.
Everyone's a loser, everyone's weird, everyone's just stumbling through life.
You should behave and be like everyone else, otherwise you're just a dick-waving show-off, So essentially, apart from the free healthcare, the free university tuition, social security, welfare, 5-week paid holiday, and very beneficial paternity leaves, Sweden is just a horrible, horrible place to live. So hello, welcome to the end of the video. We made another one, fuck yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Here is some fan art that I have received. I don't know, I mean, I have received fan art. It's fucking crazy. Thanks, mum, I think I've thanked all of you individually, but fuck it, thanks again. I'm very flattered, but I also definitely expect more in the future. Here's also a list of people who have donated on Twitch, through
I want some fan art.
Subs or gift subs or bits or whatever. So thank you all, and especially to Freddy, the top donator. You crazy fucker. I'm still working on the sort of Freddy banner to go up behind every video, but we'll get there.
That's cool. I really like this guy. He's quite funny. He gets hate comments. Go back to Britain, you he gets hate comments probably from Swedish people that don't like his sense of humor. I'm sure he's being exaggerated. Like, he's exaggerating a little bit. He's being, ironic, and he's kind of poking fun at Sweden, I suppose. A lot of his complaints in this video are kind of good complaints to have. Like, right? If you have bad things going on, these are probably pretty decent. Like, they're all just like kind of peripheral things to living, and they're good problems to have, is what I'm trying to say. Speaking of fan art and music, you guys, let's see if my Spotify account works here. I am on Spotify, and anywhere you stream music, there I am. This guy, that's me. You can find my music anywhere you stream. I'll give you a little sneak peek at brand new song just came out. Let's do it. I'm the phantom phantom with a phantom mic. Ferocious and frightening, fiendish with the flows. Every bar's like lightning, lurking in the limelight. Lyrical lunatic, lacerating beats with a verbal crucifix. Stereo syllable, sever your senses. A sinister symphony, sharpening tensions. The cadence cuts clean like a scalpel slice. Every rhyme is a crime. Every line's precise. Murderous metaphors, my methods are malevolent. Masked in the madness, malevolence is evident. So, yeah. Check it out. Send me some fan art. Peace. I'm devouring the track. Leave the mic dripping crimson, no coming back. Air with a tempo, a tyrant of tones. Twisting tales tragic with marrow and bones. Crafting chaos with the consonants, cracking your psyche. Creeping in the darkness, delighting in the fright sea. Killer with a mic, every word is a weapon. Echoes of destruction in the booth that I'm repping. Bars like blades, the core for your soul. I'm the assassin, and I'm losing control. Killer with a mic, every word is a weapon. Echoes of destruction in the booth that I'm repping. Bars like blades, the core for your soul. I'm the assassin, and I'm losing control. Grave, souls I enslave. You like that alliteration? All right, peace.